And hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. And I'm going to start by saying, let me make sure my slides are up. And that is my title, What is the Future of the Community in an Always Evolving World by me. But I will start by saying, actually, 10 years ago, I didn't think I would be here today, like giving this amazing talk that I'm going to be giving today. That's what I think it's amazing. But I'm very prepared, and I'm hoping everybody's going to enjoy it. So, first, the pandemic. So, the pandemic really did change a lot, and many people definitely change the way we engage as a community and also how we interact with each other. And one of the way that I actually took advantage of this particular time during the pandemic is I stopped looking into what the ways I used to contribute before. I started looking into how I can make a difference in my community, in my Android community, and also look into how I can start evolving my own community contribution. And before that, I actually want to talk a little bit about actually how my journey to even Android began. And I want to say that, thank you very much. So my journey in Android began back in 2014. So before that, I was a junior Java developer and I used to build inventory systems. But I was not very passionate about what I used to do because I didn't think my work was really appreciated. So I started looking into what I could do with my knowledge of Java, and I found out that actually you can build Android apps using Java. And that's how I started building Android applications. So my first application was called Simple Math, and I built it without any, not working professionally. So I built it, and it got 500 downloads with a 4.5 rate. I like telling this story because I thought that was pretty awesome back in the days. And back in the days, there wasn't any very structured way of doing, let's say, architecture pattern. Like the way right now we have MVVM, we have great documentation out there. So back in the days, my first application had so many, let's say, activities, and I would just call an activity to point another activity. But look, people liked it. So that really inspired me a lot. And in 2018, I got the opportunity to actually do the Grow Google Scholarship. And I do have one of my not partner, but a friend who did together the scholarship. And that's how I launched my second application. And then that's when I realized I really love Android and I wanted to stay. And then I stayed and I started working professionally. Now, as I transition to my next slide, I'm going to show you or talk about why you should care about the community and why it's very important to me as I tell a story and also as I share what community thinks. So why care? So first of all, why should you care? It's very important to know that the Android community, again, I'm going to mention, has really evolved. And why you should care, it's because first of all, the Android OS, as statistics shows, it's actually used 87% in the world and iOS 13%. This is according to data by Statistics in 2019. And also they do mention that right now, it's still the leading kind of OS used worldwide, which actually means we do have a very diverse community when you think about it. Because right here in this room, if I could look at all these faces, I know I traveled to Berlin the other day and I met so many people there too. I know the faces from Berlin are here. And me and Mike kind of organized Android Dev Hangout during the pandemic too. And one thing we noticed is we couldn't match up what the iOS team was doing because the iOS team, most of them, and Android is also on Wear OS right now. We're definitely having Wear OS where it's purely Android. And then AutoCam. And this is funny because I was trying to find which particular car uses, let's say, the iOS. And I found, I might be wrong, but I realized it was the Lamborghini. I was like, come on, who has a Lamborghini? But that said, this means there's going to be more contribution because we have many places where Android is currently running. Now, and that leads me to this slide, which means we'll have more community contributors, more unique stories to tell, more unique backgrounds, more technical problems solved, and a diverse community again. So what do I mean by more community contributors? Now that we have Android in, let's say, TVs and auto and other places like, let's say, Mirror or Peloton, different use cases, this will mean that each and every person will have a different story to tell. And it based like internationally what, let's say, a developer in the US experiences and a developer in Africa experiences or LATAM, that's pretty different. And this is all stories that we will all appreciate and come to love as we read through them. Because, for instance, I have a different story and everybody here has a different story. And that's very important. Having a diverse community is also very important. That's why I think I was telling a friend yesterday, in the next 5 years, definitely, I want to inspire more to be coming to give talks and also make sure that I come to support them too as I pave way for a new generation of speakers too in Android, which is super cool because the more we share, the more we learn, and the more we make our knowledge more diverse and also less struggles. That's how I think about it. Now, again, I'm going to tie back this particular topic to the pandemic itself. But first, how does the community engagement look and feel post-pandemic? I did highlight the post in red because I was thinking, are we really post-pandemic or are we still in the pandemic? I know I don't want to scare everybody, but you're in New York and so many things happening. Like we do have the monkeypox. It's a new masking world and everybody is scared. For instance, right now, there's so many people that are not comfortable leaving their houses without wearing a mask. Even not comfortable coming to a tech conference because, you're like, oh my goodness, am I going to be exposed to anything? So definitely the world has changed. It's not the way we view it as before. But what can we do about this? Now, communities definitely have had to adapt and move fast to keep members engaged. And this is one thing that I've seen, for instance, I do organize for GDG in New York. And one of the things that I've learned is that we kind of like have a hybrid format where before that, we used to have like an online complete format, but now we have a hybrid where, for instance, all the communities now kind of like support the hybrid. So if you're here and you're an organizer and you get a space, always try to make sure that you encourage the space to give you either that opportunity to do a virtual and also an in-person, because that will be important to cater for the people that are not feeling welcomed yet because they're scared, maybe like, what am I going to do? I'm very scared. But that doesn't mean you should be worried not to come to the event. Now, so something else that I can say, and I'm hoping this is very true, we can all agree that the interaction have evolved. And one of the things that I really want to highlight, and I'm going to shout out my co-organizer, I call him my co-organizer, Matt, we've been doing the Twitter spaces, which have been very, very great for us. So this is a thing I started during the pandemic, and I thought, before we used to go to local meetups, right? But now we don't even have those local meetups. And actually, as I speak with that, my first talk, I started giving a talk in local meetup. This is back in 2013. Sorry, not 2013, but 2015. And it was a Women Who Code conference where I went in there. I was very scared talking about Android. And I actually remember I spoke about Android. Not many people there knew what Android was. But it was pretty cool because I got to share my experience. And then over the years, I spoke at GHC2, which is Great Health Celebration, which is a big event for women, and other events too, locally, and also DroidCon London too, which was super cool. But one thing that I've learned is that during the pandemic, if you loved sharing your knowledge, it was very hard to kind of like share that. And also I felt isolated. So what I decided to do was when Clubhouse launched, and they did not have any, let's say, Android, because I'm an Android person, they did not have any support for Android. And then Twitter Spaces came out. I was like, I'm going to utilize this. And I started organizing and just engaging the Android community. And to me, what I've learned is that I've learned so much from the community. So what we do, we encourage other developers to just come, share their knowledge, and then answer questions if they're pretty good in the tech stack. Because one thing we have to agree is that Android, you can never be an expert. I am an expert in Android, but I don't think I can call myself an expert because I feel like I don't know everything. So there's a lot to learn. Now, another interaction that I've seen that has been very well is the Twitter engagement. If you've been following Twitter, people in the community are kind of like interacting more. And also, at the end of my slide, I'll just share communities that I've been engaged in and the ones that are really supportive to other people too, that you can join and stay active on. Now, Another thing is the hybrid format. If you're organizing your own community, it's always good to encourage the hybrid format to make sure that you're catering for everybody. Now, online conferences. We do have completely new way of contributing to the community. That is just making sure that you have like online events where everybody is welcome and they can join and they can feel more welcome when they participating from home. I'm gonna go back to one of the statements that I said before. Android moves first, right? How do we keep up? I mean, I remember when I was during the pandemic, I read the news that Compose was just released, and I was like, oh my goodness, now I'm supposed to be learning Compose too. How am I gonna learn this, and how am I gonna know what's happening here? But one thing that I actually realized is everybody here today, they came to listen to talks. They came to hear other people and they came to learn and also connect, which is very important for the community building. But what I learned is that it's a trick that I actually thought worked for me. And I'm going to send this to everybody. Simply, you don't have to. Because one of the things is that the support system itself is very great. I don't know if this is how everybody feels, but to me, I feel like the Android support system has been very great. If I have a question, I can ping Dinora, I can ping Sierra, or any other friend I have on Twitter and just ask them, how do you do this or that? And then the diversity of the community. It's very important to know that if you experience an issue, just reach out to the community. Just reach out to one friend and ask them how you're doing this. And I've seen even the Android community that we have now on let's say on Twitter again. I feel like I'm promoting Twitter today. But I've seen great people ask questions and then get answers there. And then again, start small. And then you reach out to the community. And one of the most important things too that I want to talk about now is how community contribution and the benefits are. Because all of us here today, we came to get something from here, right? We came to give talks or learn from other people. But actually, what are the benefits, right? So to me, I think the benefits are, first, there's learning. So there's a lot of learning when you come to this event because basically we are here to learn and you'll get something and you can go back and teach that back to your colleagues or workmates. And also this career growth. To me, I feel like this has really helped my career a lot. And I can tell many people have similar stories too. And there's this shared passion. This is where a group of people in Android meeting together, just making friends and being there, like it's like a family to me. And then there's a sense of belonging and there's networking and there's meaningful connection where you make a connection and then, when you are looking for a job, you can reach out to someone and you ask them, hey, is your company hiring? And then they can immediately say, yeah, and then you have an opportunity. And then another very important part was the mental health. Because during the pandemic, I found the community to be very welcoming because many of us were isolated. But if I had free time, I would just definitely go into, let's say, my local community, which is women who code most of the time, and just have like a Slack chat or a coffee chat and just feel better about it. Now, I wanted to highlight this section because definitely I'm telling you all about the community and it's evolving and also how you can continue staying contributing into it. But what does it actually mean to me? So first, I think many will attest to this, but the vibe is great. I mean, we can all agree the Android community's vibe is great. We can also agree that it's been helpful. I mean, I've gotten a lot of help. And of course, the purpose is to make sure that everybody continues contributing and always coming back to give talks. Now, it's very collaborative too. This is something that I learned, that the Android community is collaborative, it's engaging, and also very welcoming. If you feel like you're looking for a place to belong, this is a good place. And I will not forget to mention the architecture and health arguments that we see all the time also on Twitter, which are pretty healthy because we get to talk about how architecture should look like. And one thing that I did actually that I thought will highlight what the community is to not only me, because I'm here talking about a community, is I reached out to my community too and asked them, what do you think the community means to you? And I got pretty great responses. And like one I got was, community helps me to be myself and never to be afraid of falling down. Because in community, there's always someone to give me a hand, which is very true. And that is not me. Somebody said that, Celine Demar, which is super cool. And I also got another cool quote from my good friend Sierra, where she said, community has given me the confidence to learn, share, speak, teach, and pursue my goal in public, knowing that I have a global cheer section supporting and encouraging me. So this is very true. I mean, I can attest to this myself too, because I feel like I have a global cheerleading team just there telling me go, 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 which is super cool, because it also encourages me to stay in Android more, because I'm like, okay, do I want to change to be an iOS, or I want to stay in Android because I love how everything is going. Now, another good quote that I got was from Mohir, and here, what exactly stood out to me, and I asked him if I could use this. He said that it's a nice way to share that this is one way you can actually contribute. And in his quote, he said, last few days of vacation with no plans. So thinking to help the community with knowledge, and happy to mentor people on Android app architecture design or how to leapfrog in your career. I mean, to me, this was very nice because it speaks volume to how the Android community is indeed welcoming and also very helpful, because this is someone offering to mentor people during their free time, which is awesome, which is something that you all can do, because I do have a section on what everybody can help with in the community to keep the community lively and always going. Now, I had another amazing quote that I liked here too, and this community has given me insight and honest feedback to gain my developer and professional skills. There are various opportunities for me to be involved as well as to support others in their tech journeys and cheer for one another's accomplishment. I've not felt alone in my Android development journey thanks to this community. My success is because of this community. It is this powerful. So to me, the reason as to why I wanted to reach out to different people and ask them about the community is because it wouldn't be a community if I just shared my own views without sharing others' view and what they felt about the community themselves. And we can all attest that all the feedback was great. And I'm super happy about that. Now that the pandemic happened, people are still feeling like, wait, do I go to a tech conference? Do I want to give a talk? I'm not very comfortable yet. I had this section of actually, how do we energize the community? Because we need to energize. I know I thought of a different word. I thought reviving, but I thought, wait, the Android community is actually very alive. We just need to energize it, or it's already energized. But it led me to a section of thinking, you might be here today and you've never given your first talk. Because again, I'm going to tie this back to what I said in the beginning. Like in 5 years, I don't want to be still giving talks. I want to pave way for the new generation of Android developers to kind of like come and give talks too and share their knowledge. But then how do we ensure that that continues and it doesn't end? So I come with a section of actually who can contribute, thinking about today you're here, you didn't have any talk or you've never thought of submitting a talk, or whatever, whoever is watching maybe in the future, like how can you start, or how can you get started? So guess what? Any juniors, seniors, or anyone else definitely can contribute to the community, because there are different ways to contribute to the communities, and each contribution will be very worth and very great. And next one, actually, it leads me to, actually, how do you contribute? Because I know this is a question that many people will have. But first thing is, actually, showing up is contributing to the community. Like here, you showed up. You're definitely contributing to the community itself. Now, there is also resume review and interview practice. Let's say, for instance, I don't like doing organizing, I don't like writing, I don't like YouTube and podcasting. You can do resume reviews for people, let's say in college, or people actually actively looking for jobs in your field. You can also give talks, what others are doing right now, like giving talks. You can also, let's say, answering Stack Overflow questions. I think 10 years from now, a Stack Overflow question will still be there. And that's going to be pretty amazing because somebody will come and see it. And this is something that I actually like a lot, because I feel like many people asking the Stack Overflow questions, most of them now pretty new. So helping them like stay and not feel frustrated will be very important. And then actually, on that point, it will lead me to when I was doing the Grow with Google Scholarship back in 2018, we had so many members doing Android, but many of them dropped out. And I tried to reach back to them and ask them, like, why did you stop doing Android, or why did you not feel the need to continue? And the feedback was it was hard to keep up with Android, or it was very hard to find people to kind of like help me. But now I feel like if I would go back now, tell them, hey, look, there's actually a great community out there that you can get involved in and kind of like continue that learning process, and you don't have to drop. And that's definitely something I would do. So another, something else is mentoring. Mentoring is also very important. You can also contribute open source, YouTube or podcasting, which is very good, and writing or reviewing somebody's book, or they're writing like a blog post or anything. And then definitely organizing. Now, I wanted to break down these sections exactly how they would look like to me. For instance, showing up, right? That's just part of being a community member, and showing up is also contributing. You don't have to write a talk or do a YouTube video, because that stuff can be very stressful. It requires a lot of time too, but you don't have to do that. Just show up. And that's why today, everybody that showed up, a round of applause for all of you that showed up. Now, resume review, definitely help the job seekers, help their students, junior to mid-level, or even seniors that are looking for a job. Please help review those resumes. Now, giving talk, just share what you learned. It might be the simple, especially now that we have a new way of doing the UI, definitely please share those stuff that you encounter with the community so that we can have that knowledge there. Now, mentoring. Offering mentorship is very important, and I do know that this is something I really like emphasize on, because I have a great mentor too. And you might be a senior, you might be a junior too. You can mentor people in college, so it doesn't have any variation. So make sure that you can contribute that way too. Now, answering Stack Overflow question, I did go through this one and mention. And then the open source contribution. This is also very important. You can, let's say, open an issue, review pull requests, fix issue, or even become a maintainer, which is something that we all need. And actually, as we all know, Android itself is open source. And the community being open source is very important. Now, YouTube and podcasting, again, just share your knowledge through recorded videos or podcasts. And when you're writing blogs, you can review or share feedback with others. And then lastly, when you're organizing, I know it's not easy to be an organizer, but most importantly, I want to congratulate all organizers that take their time to organize and contribute to the community in that way. Now, I know I've gone too fast, and I know I am asking for a lot. And everybody's like, oh my God, why are you asking us to do all these things? So again, as I mentioned, always take a pause. And if you cannot, you don't have to do everything. Just a simple thing, one at a time. Just a resume review, or even mentoring, or even sharing your feedback with others. Now, you've seen all that and you're wondering, actually, how will I get started? Because it's always very hard to get started. Like, I've shown you how you can contribute, but how do I get started, right? Like, where do I start? What I normally say is definitely start small. Make sure that it can be in your office, like just in your office, giving those talks within your office, or even a local meetup, or even a local GDG. Anyway, and you can give, for instance, get feedback from GDEs. Those are Google developers, are expert. If especially this is your first time, like contributing or trying to get into starting contributing to the community, try to see if you can reach out to any GD and ask them, how do you do it? Or any speaker that you know and you're very comfortable speaking to, make sure you reach out. The community is already there to support you. This is something I love to say, because it's something that I've seen, that nobody is going to be judging you what your talk is going to be about. Writing technical stuff is not easy. It's not. And when you're up in the stage, I mean, let me not say all. Other people might judge you, but most of the community members will not judge you. They'll be there cheerleading for you and supporting you. So make sure that you be yourself, organize those coffee chats, and definitely lean into the community and you'll get the support. That's how I feel. And I'm hoping I'm not wrong because I've seen how the community has been great. Now, as I continue, now what works? So this part, I wanted to talk about what works again, which is something I want to insist on because I feel like I can give you everything. I can tell you everything. And then what if it doesn't work for you? For instance, I have to admit that technical writing is not my thing, but I do love writing science fiction. It's something that I started doing when I was little, and I'm definitely hoping to write a book in science fiction because I love it. But I decided to take a challenge this year actually and see if I can continue enhancing my knowledge through like writing. And I decided to actually write my first book. So that is something that people can do too. Like if you feel like it's not your niche, always try to go an extra mile and see how you can like take that challenge, like what works for me and what will work because what will work for me is not what will work for others. So definitely. And one thing also that I like saying is, this is something that I've seen, but I do know the Android community doesn't do it that way, is where don't push like 10 contents in a day. That can be very overwhelming. Just pace yourself out. Take your time. Do what is nice for you. Even I think when you're GDE too, you're told that, hey, look, you don't have to put a lot out there. Just once in a month or just contributing small is very nice. And again, like I mentioned, I took a challenge and I'm writing my first book. It's very hard, but I'm going to try to do it because I'm challenging myself. Thank you. Now, as I've said, as you've noticed, I had a particular theme for my slides because I wanted to make sure that I encourage, and I also don't want everybody to feel like, okay, she's asking too much of us. Like, how are we going to do all this? But definitely the idea is to make sure the more the community is evolving, the more new speakers we keep getting, the more new faces we keep seeing, the more diverse the knowledge we'll have. It's going to be good for the future Android developers, not just us, but for the future people that will come. And I know Android is not going anywhere anytime soon. As you've seen, it's widely used, it's global, and definitely we will need that support in years to come. And again, like I mentioned, 10 years ago, a Stack Overflow question will be there. Same as your blog, same as your book. Even though Android moves first, because I know this is very important to mention too, even though Android moves first, and you might write a book today and maybe tomorrow the APIs are deprecated, don't let that discourage you. Because I feel like if you signed up to be an engineer, especially even in Android or even any other particular field, you've signed up for a life learning lesson, is where every other day there's new things to learn. Every other day there's new stuff. So don't be encouraged. I like to say this because I do remember so I was doing Java, right? And before I joined my previous company, I was informed that actually they don't do Java anymore and it's pure Kotlin. And that really broke my heart because I was like, oh my goodness. So I have to start learning a new language. And I remember actually just trying to, because I always view everything positively. I was like, okay, maybe this is not a bad thing. Let me just try to adapt to Kotlin. And actually, to be fair, I kind of like it. It wasn't that bad. So change is not that bad. So just saying that it's always good to try things out and always be ready to learn because, again, our field is a life learning kind of like field. So be kind to yourself and avoid burnout. Just make sure that you're always kind to yourself. And this is something I like to say a lot, which means be your own cheerleader. Because if you are not your cheerleader, I know it's very hard. I know the concept by itself is very hard. But if you do something today and it's not working, be your own cheerleader. And as the community keeps evolving and as we continue having more online communities, more new way to contribute, just want to make sure that you don't burn out, you don't feel exhausted, but you're also contributing at your own pace. Now, of course, I wouldn't leave you without sharing a couple of communities that I love, which is first, there's Android Worldwide, which is purely online. So if this is your first time actually, and you've never even given a talk, Android Worldwide is very welcoming to all the new speakers, and they give you a chance to share your knowledge. And they're very nice. Please make sure you tried it out if you've never given a talk. Now, Google developer groups. pretty nice too. I know these are pretty local based, and they can be in different, and I know there might be some organizers here too. So that's another way too, to kickstart your Android community. And actually they do have a good, let's say they call it the Android study jumps, where you can go and share your knowledge too with other Android people that are trying to join Android. And also DroidCon, of course. This is where we are, DroidCon, shout out. And then there's also Kotlin Conf. And then there's the Android developers community on Twitter, which is, I've seen many people ask questions and definitely get answers there, which is super cool. And then Women Who Code, my fast community. And why I like Women Who Code is, as I was transitioning from being a Java developer to start building Kotlin, Android applications, I remember taking a sabbatical for 2 years because I had gotten my kids. And one of the things that I was very scared about is actually, how will I be able to get a job in this evolving world of Android? And one of the things that I did was I decided to kind of be giving in webinars for Women Who Code just slowly. And I would create just small talks and then just give and then do experimental, though I know that I was not working. So this was just purely me taking my time, teaching other women. And that really helped me, because when I came out, I got a job within a month, which is super cool, because I was like, oh my goodness. I remember being in an interview and being asked, how do you know all this stuff? So that contributing really helped me a lot to get my job during my sabbatical. So this is something that I can also mention for anybody trying to do a sabbatical. It's something that you can do. Just contribute small to keep that knowledge fresh. Because when I came back, I was like, oh my God, what are coroutines? I didn't know what coroutines were. But now I had to learn them and try to implement them and use them. Now, and then Chicago Roboto, which is super cool too. And as I have mentioned that, before we go, I don't know if I'm out of time. That is me, and I am very grateful for everybody that came today, and I definitely do look forward to everyone enjoying DroidCon, and make sure you attend those talks and share what you've learned with others. And please, as the communities continue evolving, we are looking definitely for more speakers and more contributors, so feel welcome and not pressure at all. I'm going to say enjoy the talk, and thank you very much, everybody.